Hello everyone, and today's video is going to, well, before I get into today's video, I just wanted to say that I realized I've been very inconsistent in posting. I haven't been posting very much and it's been kind of sporadic, but I just have been having a really tough time adjusting to my summer class schedule. It's just been really overwhelming for me, and to be honest, I haven't been doing super well as far as like staying on top of my stuff and getting stuff done. I really have been struggling a lot, and because of that, YouTube has kind of taken the wayside, and now I'm kind of having my midterms for summer, or for some of my classes, my finals, and this week is very busy, and right after my finals, I'm going home, and I don't have a ton of pre-filmed videos because time just kind of sneaked up on me. I don't know what happened, but suddenly I was like, I have a lot of lectures to watch. I'm probably not going to do super well on these exams, and YouTube isn't the most important thing, even though I would like to focus on my channel. So I've been trying to get as many videos as I can up, but I do apologize that there haven't been many videos up, and there probably won't be for a little while because I am going home. I don't know when this is going up, but I'm going home for like the last 2 weeks of July or June. And then the first week or two of July are my birthday, and also I have family coming in town, and I'm going on like a vacation. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going on a vacation with my family. And I don't know. It's been a lot dealing with school, so I haven't had time to pre-film to be able to take that break off. But I am planning on trying to get as many videos as I can. So I don't know if I can really get more than one video up a week, if I'm gonna have to take some weeks off, but I hope you guys are fine with it. It's summer break, and I feel like sometimes I just need to breathe, and life is just really overwhelming. To be honest, I've just been struggling a lot with even finding, not even the motivation, but just the will to get up and do stuff most days. I feel like time just passes by me, and I don't know. I don't need to have an explanation, but I just thought I would let you know that I realized that I haven't been the most consistent, and I really want to be, but I haven't been able to. So that was my cat, by the way. But today's video is going to be inspired by Tara Brooke. She did a collab with Giovanna, I think, on the same video idea. And speaking of, both of them are very consistent YouTubers, and they honestly make me wish I was like them, because no matter what's going on, they're very consistent. It's going to be products that I would not repurchase. Now, I chose 10 products, and these are things that I haven't decluttered from my collection. I might declutter some of them eventually, but I don't hate these products. They're just things that if my collection disappeared, I definitely wouldn't repurchase these, and eventually I might declutter them, but I still do like them. It's just like either the formula or the shades or just the product itself is something that I don't find necessary in my collection. So anyways, let's just get into it. A whole other thing that I wanted to say. The background is different because I just didn't feel like going in my room, because the lighting is just not the best. I just have to use artificial lighting, so I'm in my living room, sitting at the kitchen table. I think the lighting is a lot better, and I hope you can't see the mess that we have. You can see all of our board games back there, and then my cat might walk by. And also, I'm not wearing like any makeup. Because do you ever, if you're a YouTuber or whatever, and you have those days where you just want to film, or you need to get filming done, but you really don't want to sit down for 30 plus minutes and put on a full face of makeup, or just put on a full face of makeup at all, because it's like I just want to sit down and film and then go back to relaxing for the rest of the day. So this is the makeup that I wore to lab this morning. This is whatever I decided to slap on my face at 8:30 in the morning. So I have under eye concealer on, barely, brow gel, and then just now I added a tiny bit of mascara and a lip gloss. So hope you guys don't mind. Let's just get on into it. I will start first with my foundation pick, and this is a foundation that I don't think I ever loved it, but I did think it was really good. But I've just come to realize how I like my makeup and not how I'm trying to force myself to make a product work. So this is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40 foundation. It's a tinted moisturizer, and part of this when I first got it is the coverage is very, very low. It's a sheer coverage, and I have a lot of redness. You can really see it now that I'm not wearing makeup. Like, it looks like I have blush on, and especially on this cheek. This is my problem area, which is why I'm always facing this way. But I have a lot of redness on my cheeks, and I do typically like to cover it. Now, I usually will use a concealer on top, but sometimes I do use a little bit more foundation of this. And because this is so sheer, I have to build it up more, but this is a very dewy foundation. So if I build it up to the coverage that I like, I'm way too dewy. And even when I have it pretty sheer, I'm just a little bit more dewy than I would like, especially because this is in a shade that is a tiny bit dark for me. So I feel like it's my summer foundation, but it's way too glowy for my summer foundation. So I think I'm gonna put this in my project pan and try and use this up, because I do like it if I just do a really thin layer, because I think it makes the skin look beautiful. Just for my preferences, it's a little bit too dewy, and I realized that instead of trying to like, everyone wants super, super dewy skin, and I have dry skin, but I just want hydrated skin. I don't want to look like a freaking glazed donut or something. I just want my skin to feel nice and hydrated, and I still want it to look nice, because I feel like in real life, if you just have dew all over, at least for me, it doesn't look as good as if you were to have a little bit of soft matte in some areas. That's just my opinion. So this is a good foundation. I think some people would really enjoy this, but me personally, I first of all am not a huge fan of the brand. I'm not a huge fan of the dewiness, and I'm not a huge fan of the color that I chose. So just a whole bunch of things that resulting in me and wanting to use this up and get it out of my collection for good. Next is a concealer that a lot of you guys told me to get, and a lot of my friends really enjoy this concealer. I'm just not a fan. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct concealer. I don't know, I really like the coverage and the finish of this concealer, but on the under eyes, it creases immediately on me. And I don't know what it is, because I would hate how my under eyes looked when I was using this, and I finally stopped using it, and it was fine. I still get creasing on my under eyes, but this would crease so badly, and I don't know what it was. And I also was talking to one of my friends, I honestly don't remember who it was because this was so long ago, and they said that like when they get dryness on their under eyes, this just emphasized it, and I could totally see that. So I don't know, I like a more hydrating concealer, and this one isn't super hydrating, but I liked how this one wasn't super glowy, and I like the coverage on it, so I'm keeping it to use it on my cheeks because I like the coverage that it has. I like the finish. But for my under eyes, it's just, I think it's too thick, so it creases immediately. And I don't even use that much. I use like a dot, and I blend it out. And it just creases immediately, and it just doesn't look that good on my face. So I would not repurchase this. It's very, very expensive, and I don't like it at all. It's not made for the under eyes, I feel like. It's too much. So I'm sorry to all my friends that recommended me this. I still trust your recommendations. It's just not for me. Okay, I have one brow product. I'm pretty sure Tara talked about the same brow product, unless I'm making it up. I'm not sure, but the Patrick Ta shaping wax, I have used this a decent bit. I don't know if you can tell. I need to use this one more. I haven't pulled it out in months. And I do like this product. I think it gives a nice shape to the brows. I don't go extreme with it. I don't do super feathery brows. I honestly just use it the same way I would use a brow gel, just to shape them and give them hold. I don't do super feathery brows, super model brows. It honestly gives me the same effect as my brows right now, but I just don't like the inconvenience of like spraying this, using a spoolie, brushing it through my brows. I just want to use a brow gel that has tint in it. I can just use that one, brush it through, and be done. This one just has too many steps for me. I know it's not that many, but it's enough where I wouldn't repurchase this, because it gives me the same look, if not like a look that I like a little bit less than my brow gel. So I wouldn't repurchase this. I don't think it's a bad product. It's just not for me. Okay, I have a lot of blushes that I'm thinking about decluttering, but I only picked two for this category. The first one is, it's a weird one that I picked just to fill in number 10, but it's the Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out Cream Blush in the shade Petal Poppin'. A lot of people have been hating on this formula. I think the formula is fine. I don't think it's something that blows my mind, especially with like the Melt cream blushes. Those I've absolutely fallen in love with, and is such a unique and beautiful cream blush formula, versus this one is just run-of-the-mill. Like it's just a cream blush. You're not going to have your mind blown, but it's also probably not going to be something that you hate, which isn't my favorite. I mean, it's fine and I'll use it, but I have blushes I love more. But mainly I wouldn't repurchase this because I have so many pink blushes, and this one is a beautiful, like, popping pink blush, but out of all of the pink blushes that I own, this one would not be the first one that I would repurchase. And then I adore the formula of this blush. I think it's a beautiful formula. It lasts all day. It's so easy to apply. It looks beautiful on the cheeks, and I love like the soft matte finish of it, but I just am not a fan of the application. And it's the Glossier Cloud Paint. Now I have two shades. In the shade Storm, I love the tone of it so much that I'm not putting it in this video. But this one is the shade Beam. I still love the tone of this video. It's a really nice, bright color that I think lightens up my face so much. But the only liquid blush that I've really been enjoying ever is the Say Beauty blush, and that's because I can dot it straight on the face. Now, this one I can just dot it on my fingers, but I don't like things that I have to squeeze out. It's like that for anything that I have. I don't want a bronzer that I have to squeeze out. I don't want a liquid highlighter that I have to squeeze out. I want something that I can dot on my face or dip into a pan. I don't like these sort of applications. I usually don't even love sticks. To be honest, I still have stick creams, but I would much rather prefer a compact that I can dip my brush into. But this application style, I think most people can agree that it isn't their favorite. I haven't seen a single person mention these in a video without saying that they hate the application style. So as much as I love the blush formula, I don't think I would repurchase this one. Okay, I chose a cream bronzer. And I'm probably going to end up decluttering. As I look at my bronzer collection, I just am feeling, I don't know, with my whole collection, I'm just feeling like I only want to keep the select few things that I absolutely love, because I don't like having to reach for things that I don't like. Or like, if I put something in my Shop My Stash that isn't one of my favorite products, I always just want to reach back for the original ones. And at the end of the day, if I have a bunch of products, I'm not going to make progress on the ones that I love. Especially with my bronzers, I just have so many, and I'm like, I just want to use like the same two over and over and over again. So this one personally, I tried to love it. I tried, and I just realized it's not my style. It's not. And it's the Oma Beauty it's not the Stay Wait Woke. The Oma Beauty Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick. I'm struggling so much. The problem that I have with this one is that the cream bronzer is way too dark. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly think most people who are fair to like medium complexion, maybe like fair to light, wear way too dark of a bronzer shade. And I think that's why I tried to convince myself to like it. Like, a lot of people are wearing bronzers that are just way too dark and look very dramatic on their face. And I don't mean any shame if you do that. It's just on me personally. I tried to love the look, and I've just been buying lighter bronzers and realized I love the natural look so much better. And it's the bronzer shade that is meant for my skin tone. This shade is not meant for my skin tone. Now, like the Kosas Light shade, that is a bronzer shade meant for fair skin, because it's not supposed to be a dramatic bronze. At least, I don't know. I'm not trying to set makeup rules, just to look like a bronzer, a believable bronzer. It's only supposed to be slightly darker than my skin. So I tried to convince myself to like this one, but it's just, this bronzer is so pigmented and it is really easy to blend out, but every time I use this, it's always too much. It's overwhelmingly making my face so dark, and I just don't like it. I'd rather go in with no bronzer. I like the highlighter. It's like a gold highlighter, but the bronzer's just too dark. I can make it work by doing a tiny dot and using it for my entire face, maybe using the brush, maybe warming it up on the back of my hand, but it's just like, I don't want to do that when I have my bronzers that just work. You know, I have bronzers that just work, and this one, it just takes work, you know? So it's not my favorite. I think the formula is great, and I just wish there was a lighter shade of this. I know they have a lighter one, but it is a cool toned bronzer, and it's more like a contour. So I don't know. I just am not a huge fan of this, and I would not repurchase it. Even with my short videos, I still talk for so long. Yeah, the next product that I would not repurchase is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpture Unlocked Palette. Now, my review video is up on my channel, and I loved it in that video. I think it's a beautiful quad, and I still do think it's a beautiful quad, but first of all, I'm a cream product person. The number of times when I'm going to reach for all powder products is almost never. I pulled a bunch of powder products once and I shot my stash, and I hated how my makeup looked every single time. So I just am not a powder product person, and also I'm not a palette, like a face palette person. I'm barely even an eyeshadow palette person. I would much rather reach for my singles than this. Now, I have this in my project pan. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in there or if I'm just going to declutter it, because I do really like the shades of it, but it's like I'm not this type of person. I think I enjoy the powders. I'm not a fan of Hourglass and I'm not supporting them, but I enjoy the powder formula. The colors are nice. It's just, I don't want to have to reach for this, because to me, if I reach for this, that's all of the fun. I just get one product versus I can pick my favorite cream bronzer or a blush and a highlighter and have 3 fun options and switch it up a ton. I don't know if that makes sense, but I love doing my cheeks. So this just kind of is a one and done. And I think it's very nice for travel, but for me personally, who likes to switch it up, it's just not my style to have a face palette. And I think face palettes are being phased out just because people aren't really into them. Okay, the last 3 products are eye products. I will start with the single shadow, and this one, it hurts me to put this in this video because you guys know I love the formula of these, but the color is just something that I don't regret buying, and I'm not going to declutter, but I would not repurchase it if it was lost. And it's the Auric Smoke Reflect in the shade Ego. I know it hurts me so much, but this shade is nice. I don't love it on me, but every time I wear this, like, you guys on Instagram will always compliment the shade on me because it brings out the green in my eyes. But it's not an everyday shade for me, and for me, an expensive single eyeshadow is something that I need to be able to throw on any day. And while this shade is unique, it's just not one of those shades. It's like a greeny gray. I want to try, actually, let's just try it now. This is the topper, and I've seen a lot of people just wear it on their own. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's still, like, it's a beautiful formulation, and honestly, I love, like, the top, I don't know, I just love the formulation of this. And I love all of the other, I literally own the 2 other colors, but it's just not a favorite color of mine. What do you guys think? I feel like it's a little bit alien-y to wear for every day. I think if I did a sheer layer, I could totally see myself wearing a shimmer like this, like collab, which is how my makeup would look right now. But I feel like it looks a little bit too green gray just on its own. So I don't know, it's just a shade that I don't love. I really hope she comes out with more shades of these, because you guys know how much I love Defiance and Temper. I love these shades so much, but Ego, while I still think it's a really good shade, and it's a really unique shade, it's just not one that I reach for every day, and I don't think I would go back and spend like the $30 or whatever it is on this. Okay, next I have the Viseart palette. I have 2 of these, and I don't think I'd repurchase either. I got these on a good sale. This is the Petite Pro in Apricotine. I have not reached for this palette a single time. Maybe I reached for like one of the mattes or maybe one of the shimmers, but I've not reached for this palette, and it's because I bought it right at the time and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done with palettes. Like, I'm all in on cream eyeshadows, and this one, I don't know. I never been interested in Viseart, and then I just was stalking the Instagram posts of these and I really liked it. And I don't know. I think it's a beautiful palette. I might declutter this. I don't know. I don't reach for it. And the colors are gorgeous. The formula works great. I don't think it needs to be in my collection. So I don't think I'd repurchase this one. The other one that I have, I'd be more likely to keep because it has more everyday friendly shades. But I don't know. I'm just not a major fan of it. I think it's good. And if anyone wanted to buy it, I think you'd be happy with it. But just for me, it's not something that I need in my collection, because even though it is more unique with the peaches, I don't need everything in my collection to be unique. I just need a few things that I love. And then this last one, it's gonna make you guys upset. I've already talked about this in a few videos, but this palette, I loved it at first, and now I'm just bored. I'm just bored of it, and it's the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I don't know. I just think I don't need giant eyeshadow palettes of colors that I don't need. I don't reach for silvers, so that cuts out this entire half of the palette. Don't reach for this dark color. And this is what we're left with. And it's like, I have this in a single eyeshadow. I don't need this. This is a basic champagne color. I have this and this in my Kaja stack. This one is a beautiful shade, I will say, but it's like a single eyeshadow that I have, and then I'm left with 2 matte browns. I don't need it. And it's a beautiful palette to look at, but in actuality, I don't look at this palette and think, oh, I want to put that on my eyes. If it's a neutral palette, I'm only going to buy it if I see it and I'm inspired by it and I know that I can use it a ton. Otherwise, I just don't need it because I don't look at neutrals and I'm like, ooh, put that on my eyes. Neutral palettes are essential to have, but this, it's not essential. To me, I would have much rather saved this money and spent it on pink eyeshadow or a rose gold eyeshadow palette, or just saved for a few neutral singles that I know I'm going to reach for a ton versus the grays in this and then the few mattes that I do like. It's like I'm forcing myself to put this palette on and I'm like, okay, I'll put it on versus me being excited. So it's just not an essential for me, and I'm probably going to sell this one. So those are the 10 items that I don't necessarily regret buying. I mean, I kind of regret buying them, but now that they're in my collection and I've had a chance to try them out, I would definitely not repurchase them. I think I could add a few more things to this, but you guys are just gonna have to wait for my declutter. I don't know if I should go ruthless or realistic with my declutter, because I'm at the point where I'm like, I just want to keep the same 5 eyeshadows that I like, 5 blushes that I like, and the 2 bronzers, but that's a topic for another video. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for the difference that's always going on. Not always going on, but just the weird background, weird lighting, and the AC. But I finally had a day where it was not hailing outside, so that's a plus. So anyways, I will link Tara and Giovanna's video down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!